Hey everybody, welcome. It's Andrew Ains with Golf Academy. As always, a warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in and watching the video today. Before we start the video, quick advertisement. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do us a big favor, click on that button down there in that bottom corner, hit that subscribe button, and that will do me an enormous favor. So, what are we going to talk about today? I'm going to talk to you today about grips. More specifically, I'm going to talk to you about grip size and how grip sizes can have quite a huge influence on how you're going to play golf. Stating the obvious, isn't it? The only contact that I've got between this golf club and me is the grip. So let's start off the video by saying make sure your grips are in good condition. Generally speaking, it will depend on how much golf you play. If you're playing 3 or 4 times a week, you're probably going to need a fresh set of grips on every year. But if you're the sort of golfer who picks the clubs up once, twice a week, doesn't practice a great deal, you'll probably get away with a grip change every 2 to 3 years. But you'll find that maybe clubs you practice more with, like your 7-iron or your wedge, will wear out quicker. So make sure the grips are in good nick, because if the grips are worn or shiny, you're going to have to grip these things a lot harder than you need to. And grip pressure is what us teaching coaches call the silent killer. It destroys golf swings. Anyway, back to the topic in question, grip size. Why is it important? And first of all, how can you check that you're using the right grip size yourself? Some very simple ways of actually checking grip size. I'll put some little videos up here as I'm talking about it. Generally speaking, if a grip's too thick, and the grip that I'm gripping up here at the moment is a jumbo, and you'll see that the gap between my fingers and the palm of the hand is quite big. So there's a very good visual to tell you that the grip size is too thick. I'll tell you a bit about what thick and thin can do in a minute. The second grip I'm going to do is a mid-size grip. Okay, the mid-size grip, as you can see, the gap there is still a little bit of a gap there, fingers not quite touching. And then the third grip I'm going to put in my hands up here is actually a standard thickness, and you'll see with the standard thickness that the fingers just about touch the palm of the hand, which would indicate that's a good grip size for me. Now then, let's come back and talk to you about how we can customize the grip to suit your style of golf. I have a big issue in my golf swing that I have always tended to be what we'd call a bit of a handsy player. I tend to release the club a little bit aggressively, and the problem is that as the club gets into the impact position, the club face starts to close, and I'll hit a lot of sort of pull draws or over draws. So a few years ago, I experimented with grip size. I was struggling to really sort of play the hold-off shot. That led to too many problems. So I thought, what about if I go to a mid-size grip? I'd always played with normal standard size grips. Went to a mid-size, which is a little bit thick for me as we look at it here. But what I found it did is it actually stopped me over-rotating, over-releasing that club quite considerably. And my iron play improved off the scale in terms of dispersion. Didn't lose the ball anywhere near as left as I used to. So if you're the sort of golfer who gets a little bit handsy and releases the club a little bit early, try a thicker grip. And my best advice would be to go to your local pro shop or golf store and try one club rather than re-gripping all of them and taking a chance, because grips are quite expensive. You know, over here in the UK, grips are going to range from sort of £8 up to like £15. So you don't want to do the whole set and find it doesn't work. Go and get your 7-iron done. Try a thicker grip if you're a bit of an over-rotator like me. Consequently, we can go the other way. If you're the sort of golfer, and I teach a lot of golfers who find releasing the club is a very difficult thing to do, and they tend to sort of, you know, swing through with the club face open, hit lots of cuts and blocks and things like that, then going to a slightly undersized grip can sometimes really help the hands and arms and forearms start to waken up a little bit. So the opposite effect. If you're the golfer who sort of cuts it, finds it difficult to release it, try a slightly thinner grip, and you'll find with a thinner grip the hands can just work that little bit faster if that's the sort of golf swing you're trying to create. Now, there will be people who then comment that releasing the club is not the right way to swing the golf club, and I might agree with that. You know, these days we're teaching that the bigger muscles control the arms, so we work more on body rotation rather than hand and arm rotation. But as we all know, all golf swings are different, so we've got to find the one that suits you. So that's one way what we can talk about grip size, is just a little visual check. The other thing you can do is go online, go to something like Golf Pride's website. On there you can take measurements of your hand, your longest finger. They work on glove size, so like medium, large will generally be standard thickness. And you can go through a really good sort of web questionnaire on what sort of grip you want, and they'll make some recommendations. Ping, quite interesting. We'll flash up Ping's little chart. They work on color code system, and they have 4 or 5 different thicknesses, white being the standard, gold being a mid-size, orange being a jumbo, red is lady standard. And again, they have a fitting system where you can measure from the crease of your wrist to your longest finger, and then you measure your longest finger on the chart, and it'll tell you what grip size you want to be. One final thought on this is there are lots and lots of different styles of grips. We'll maybe do a separate video on how you choose what sort of grip you want. But there's a grip come out in the last few years from Golf Pride called the MCC Plus 4, which is really interesting. And a normal golf grip will taper, you know, it'll get thicker to thinner. And what they did with MCC Plus 4, put some pictures up there, is that the bottom hand for a right-handed golfer, so a right hand for a right-handed golfer, the bottom one, the taper on there has equivalent of 4 layers of tape on it, so it doesn't have as much taper. That can help control what the right hand's doing a little bit more. And there are studies to say that it allows you to increase a little bit more club speed. So become very popular with the tour players, this Plus 4, where we get less taper. So that's another grip worth looking at. So there we go. There's a little insight in how we can look at our grip sizes. Go and have a little check. Go and do your little visual. Grab hold of your 7-iron and just see what that gap is between your fingers. If it's too big or too little, maybe time to get down to your local pro shop and have a chat with a pro and see what you can do with grip sizes to help you play better golf. That's it. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.